Boom! Explosion from Doom. Hello everyone, welcome to this video and let's start. Sorry.
Dear id Software, I think. Honestly, does anybody I'm even talking to still work there? Let me check real quick. John Romero, gone. Both Carmax, gone. Tom Hall, Sandy Peterson, Sean Green, American McGee, gone, and gone. I guess Kevin Cloud is still there. Okay.
Hi.
All right, let's redo this. Dear 1993 id Software.
Oh my god. He's changed the format to 1993. Oh my gosh. Because you must understand, Doom is quite an old game, so yeah.
Hi, it's me, Austin. And I have a bone to pick with you. You guys, did you even know what you did? You revolutionized the first-person shooter genre by, well, creating it. Granted, good job, props. Woohoo! You did it! But with great power comes great responsibility.
True. With great power comes great responsibility, and you guys created it. Awesome. And let's continue the signs.
And damn it, you let me down, you let all of America down. You created something that echoed through the annals of gaming history, that defined tropes and transcended genre conventions. You made a legacy, and it's that legacy that has created the biggest bugbear to hound my sleep at night. This is something that has annoyed me ever since I started overanalyzing media in my wee childhood, and has nothing to do with it being February with no new releases in sight when I've just done a video on Minecraft and did one on Pokemon before that, and can't think of anything else to do before Resident Evil 3 and Final Fantasy VII Remaster come out. I have to talk to you about these things. The exploding barrels.
What? That's the thing that you want to talk about? Exploding barrels? Like, seriously? There's a lot of different things that you can talk about in Doom, and you want to talk about exploding barrels? I guess sure, I guess.
You see, little did you know it at the time, but while you were busy creating an entire genre of video game, you also made these things that have been haunting me in every single video game on Earth. And I'm serious, I am not joking. Duke Nukem, Grand Theft Auto, Diablo, also, wait, what? I hit it with a sword? What even? No, I'm doing the list. I'm not gonna rant about how stupid this is. Half-Life, Donkey Kong Country, it says TNT on the side, and there's no fuse. How does it even? No, Austin, focus. Stop it. Resident Evil, Crash Bandicoot, Breath of the Wild, Mass Effect, GoldenEye got so carried away that literally everything explodes somehow. That is not even a comprehensive list. I guarantee you everyone watching this video can think of at least one game they've played with exploding barrels in it. We could do this all day, and it's all your fault, and they make no freaking sense, and I am here to set the record straight. You are welcome.
Aw. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, I gotta calm down because I feel like maybe I've left some of you behind and you may not be as angry as I am. That's a normal response, right? To be angry at a video gamey thing. I think so. I'm normal. This is normal. We're all normal here. First, I think we have to go over what an explosion actually is.
Good heaven, look at the time. It's explosion. Bucklets, la la la. Bucklets, la la la. Explosion! Oh my god, what am I doing?
Because it's a surprisingly interesting and complex physical phenomenon. I said physical there for a reason. That wasn't an accident. An explosion at its heart is a physical thing. Often it's created using chemicals, but that's not always the case. An explosion simply is a sudden increase in the volume of gases in a space accompanied by a sudden release of energy.
A sudden release of energy.
Reactions, and yes, this includes just lighting stuff on fire, can be really good at doing this, but that's not the only thing that can cause explosions. Like just shoving gas into a container until the material of the container fails also counts. The gas under pressure inside the container expands rapidly as the walls rupture, check, and all of that energy is released into the surrounding air, check, incredibly quickly. In order to understand explosions, and more specifically, why the exploding barrel is such a terrible one, let's look at a game with an amazing explosion scene in it. Seriously, I haven't actually played this game in almost a year and I still can't get this scene out of my head. It's the Red Dead Redemption 2 mission, A Kind and Benevolent Despot. This mission in a 2-minute scene is just mwah! It perfectly covers all the important elements of a proper explosion. Grain explosions are a very real and very dangerous reality in the age of mass-produced agricultural goods and storage. This scene in Red Dead Redemption 2 is not made up nonsense. There are an average of 10 grain dust explosions in the United States alone, killing at least one person a year and causing millions in property damage. It's not a joke, and it's a very real danger that people who work in the grain and sugar storage business have to deal with and mitigate every single day.
They have to deal with and mitigate every single day. It's a daily risk involved.
And it's a perfect platform to explain that what makes an explosive material explosive has more to do with conditions than it does the actual material itself. Under the right conditions, sugar can make an amazing explosive, and under the wrong conditions, gasoline can make a terrible one. There are 4 elements, 4 conditions that must be met in order for a properly good and dangerous explosion to take place. 1, you need fuel. 2, you need oxygen. 3, you need confinement. And 4, you need an ignition source. If you get all 4 of these, you've got a good recipe for an explosion. In a grain
You have a good recipe. It's not ultimately the most required, but it's a good recipe.
explosion, the fuel is actually the dust floating in the air. If you ignite it with an ignition source, a single dust particle will light on fire and consume the oxygen around it. If the concentration of dust is high enough, the heat from that one particle will light nearby particles on fire, which will light
You just carry on. Just light, boom, boom.
more on fire, and boom, boom! A chain reaction travels through the entire confined space, building up pressure caused by a combination of gas heating up and chemical changes from combustion, and bam! An entire building explodes. The fuel is the grain, the oxygen is the oxygen, confinement is the building, and the ignition source in Red Dead Redemption is the furnace. These 4 elements don't change much, even if you're talking about gasoline in a barrel. In fact, when OSHA is making their safety standards for material handling, they describe the specific conditions materials are under when determining whether they are explosive or not. Specifically, they focus on the oxygen mixture and the temperature because these are the factors that matter the most when assessing whether a material is safe or not. These are described as the upper and lower flammable limits,
Upper and lower flammable limit.
which is a bell curve for how likely a stored material is to explode. If the temperature is too low, too little fuel will be vaporized in order to sustain combustion. If it's too high, there will be too much fuel in the air and there won't be enough oxygen. But if conditions are just right, all it can take is a tiny spark and then bam! And it's here where we start to run into problems. First,
See, you must understand, under correct conditions, alright? It's not like more fuel equals to more kaboom. No. It's not, sometimes lesser fuel it can work, but if it's too little fuel, it doesn't work too. It's a perfect condition, sorry.
First of all, the lore of the original Doom games, and yes, there is lore that I know because I once spent like 6 months researching Doom lore for another video that I'm shamelessly plugging right now. It's called Devil's Advocate. It's on my other channel, Shoddycast. It's really good, and it only takes me approximately 6 months to make each video, so, you know, maybe by the time I retire, there will be a whole 10 episodes to watch.
Shameless self-vlog, subscribe to Shoddy.
Anyway, the lore of the Doom games is that these bases on the moons of Mars are primarily radioactive waste dumping sites, and secondarily, maybe a little bit of evil mad scientist experimentation that may or may not accidentally open a portal to the plains of hell and unleash all of demonkind into an unsuspecting humanity. These
May or may not.
damage pools here, radioactive waste. These barrels filled with the same green slop, presumably also radioactive waste, which typically speaking is not flammable. But let's say that it is, because there's, you know, barrels of stuff on fire here. This
this is a fictional game, so maybe fictional world.
still makes no sense. In order to know why it makes no sense, let's go back to our 4 conditions. Number 3, confinement. We have a big confinement issue here. Containers are not strictly necessary, but they help a lot. They can contain pressure and release it, kind of like when you open a soda can and the pressure caused by the carbon dioxide bubbles inside is released all at once in a hiss. That's because the pressure was allowed to build up inside the can while the walls contained it. That hiss is a release of that energy all at once. It's not exactly an explosion, although it does tick a lot of the marks. Actually, is it an explosion? Hey, resident science expert, is opening a Coke can an explosion? We don't have one of those. A resident science expert? Oh, it's me. I'm the...
Oh.
Well, that's not great. You don't really need to worry about your
Well, that's not great.
cans exploding for the most part. They're designed to withstand over 6 atmospheres of internal pressure before materials start to fail. But more importantly, look at this barrel. It is wide open on the top, which means unless it is filled with nitroglycerin, which means the game lied to me about the whole radioactive waste thing, there's no way this could build up enough pressure to explode. Catch fire? Sure, maybe, kinda. Not really, but maybe. Fine. So all we gotta do then to fix this is to slap a top on this thing, and then we're good, right? No way! Because then we have a whole new problem, specifically problem number 2, oxygen. You see, barrels full of flammable substances are pretty terrible at exploding because almost always the volatile fumes fill up any
It's not enough to have the perfect conditions.
empty space at the top of the container and essentially smother any possibility of combustion by drowning out all the oxygen that's present. In fact, the more full a barrel is, the less dangerous it is, unless, again, it's full of nitroglycerin, which is not radioactive waste. This is because even if you do get a combustible fuel to oxygen mixture, the actual volume it takes up is very, very small, making the potential energy release small by comparison, meaning these barrels, which are open-topped and filled to the brim with liquid gas, would never explode. I guess unless you shoot them with a rocket launcher, but that doesn't count. Best case scenario, a bullet that hits the metal barrel creates a spark that causes a fire. And heck, fires are pretty dangerous, but they are not explosions.
True, fire are not explosions. Fire are sort of dangerous, but it's not explosion dangerous.
And this is the basic problem with every exploding barrel in gaming. How is the one in Donkey Kong Country exploding? TNT is a powder. Its entire selling point is that it's supposed to be resistant to shock-induced explosions. How on earth is Crash, an Eastern...
Shock-induced explosion. Oh my god, that is very specific amount of... that's a very specific term of explosion. The more you know. The more you know.
Hard bandicoot slamming into crates with enough force to cause sparks and ignite explosives. A game that actually does it right, surprisingly, is Half-Life 2. The barrels are closed and they seem to be pretty light, meaning that they don't have a lot of gas in them. In fact, empty barrels that used to store gasoline are way more dangerous than tanks that currently store liquid gas. This is because even a thin layer of liquid gasoline at most normal temperatures will put off enough vapor to totally mess with the oxygen fuel mixture. But tanks that don't have liquid gas in them anymore, they are way more likely to create the volatile oxygen fuel mix that leads to explosions, and they don't explode with a lot of fire. They just go pow and yeah, kill
It's like a pow! No, because confinement is there.
you. That seems about right. So, screw you, id. Screw you for making a genre-defining, literally genre-defining game that I still enjoy to this day, especially when source-ported with something extremely ultra-violent like Brutal Doom. Screw you for making a game that's so good that we still play it today, and for making totally and entirely unrealistic game mechanics that objectively make the game more fun and more enjoyable. Do better next time. Sincerely, Austin.
Sincerely, Austin. Thank you so much for watching this video. Wow. Oh my god. Doom portal to the demon realm. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you do like this video, please consider to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and comment down below if you have anything to share with us. Do remember to follow my channel, and I sincerely appreciate all of the support and encouragement for me and my channel. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time in my next video. But hey, that's just a theory. Oh wait, that's not theory. One more time. But hey, that's just a science. The science of. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much for watching this video. This video came out in year 2020, which is last year, from the YouTube channel of the game Theorists. I'm a huge fan of their work and hope that you will like this video as much as I do. And do remember to watch more of their videos and support them. Do remember to click the subscribe button and the notification bell as well. Thank you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye! Yeah.